My name is Joe Sturgeon. I'm an ex-fibromyalgic. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990. That was after 5 years of trying to get a diagnosis. My company sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist and said it was all in my head. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college, I was pulled out of boot camp during training and offered officers training school or naval cadet school to learn to fly jets without college. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I already had enough. In Korea, the company commander called me in and made the offer again, and I would be sent back to the States. Again, I said no. In each video that you see, there will be links added which will include websites with current information that will verify the document my findings that I have put together. Now, in all of this, it brings us to a point that you have options. You can get rid of this problem, the cause and recovery, naturally, medically, or you will get worse if you don't do something. Now, I've got just a little humorous article I'd like to read. And it says, seniors have much to be proud of. What is a senior citizen? It is a name that should be worn with pride. Most of us were born during the Great Depression. We did not have a lot of today's luxuries. We learned to get along with what we had. We knew that if we didn't work, we didn't eat. There was no welfare, no food stamps, psychiatrists or so-called social workers, and no so-called experts to tell us how to live. We went through World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. We lost friends and relatives in war. Many of us veterans who gave up part of our lives in the service of our country. We obeyed our laws, we paid our taxes and purchased our homes. We supported our local schools and paid for our children's college education. We did not burn flags and draft cards. We respected the flag and knew that what it stood for. We respected our neighbors and their property. We trusted neighbors and did not have to live behind locked doors. When we made promises, we kept them. We knew the difference between right and wrong, also the meaning of the word no. Privileges were something we had to earn, but something we were entitled, not something we were entitled to. As children, when we got a spanking, we knew that we earned it, and it wasn't called child abuse. It was discipline when we needed, that we needed. It hasn't been a bed of roses. We have been lied to, cheated, knocked around, and kicked around by life, but we always managed to come out with our heads up. We are survivors. It wasn't easy, but thank God and some good luck, we made it. We are seniors because we have experienced life. Now, additionally, there is no easy way to eliminate, there is a very easy way to eliminate the mycoplasmas. And that's medically or naturally. And now I find on the internet that there are new tests to determine if you have the mycoplasmas, and that there are several species of mycoplasmas, and they determine which ones. All doctors claim there is no cure. I'm an ex-fibromyalgic because I got rid of my mycoplasmas, and I've counseled hundreds of people without charge. And many have done as good or had better results than myself. Some could be called miracles. I have tried to meet with several doctors and been told they do not have time for anything new, or there is no cure. Is it greed? What is a life worth? Why must pain and suffering go on when it can be stopped very simply? Some people may experience complete recovery depending on factors such as age, time to play host to the mycoplasmas, nutrition, attitude, exercise, and the amount of water you drink. Filtered water. Mycoplasmas create toxins which in turn cause mutagenesis of the cells. Is it any wonder why it hurts? They even affect the brain cells. I am a survivor. Call me that. Been there, done that, ain't going there again. And then here's an article here that says, what's killing us? Next century's biggest health threat will be non-infectious diseases. And we're talking autoimmune, but they are infectious. Here's a very interesting statement, and it came from, I think it's in here somewhere. It says, do supplements lead us astray? Many docs and dietitians love to worry that vitamin and mineral supplements will make us abandon healthy diets and OD on cream-filled donuts and super nachos. So, yay, for a new government survey of over 11,000 adults that shows supplement users know better and do better. Compared with the 70% of people who said they use no supplements, the 24% who said they took a supplement every day, ate food that was lower in fat, higher in fiber, higher in vitamins A and C, supplement skeptics take note. My name is Joe Sturgeon. I am an ex-fibromyalgia. That's not right. Ex-fibromatic. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea. I was finally diagnosed in 1990 with fibromyalgia. That was after 5 years of trying to find out. My company at the time sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist and said it was all in my head. They did put me out on disability retirement. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps and without college, and I was pulled out during boot camp and offered officers training school or naval cadet school to learn to fly jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I already had had enough. In Korea, the company commander called me in and made me the offer again and said I would be sent back to the States. Again, I said no. In each video that you see, there will be some links added which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together and maybe even expand on them. Now we're going to talk about attitude. This is important if you want to do something. I said I'm going to beat this junk. I'm going to live better and help others. I am a survivor from the mycoplasmas, and I did beat it. In a health trend book from 10th anniversary of something here, Arthritis Today, it says there's 10 lessons about pain. 1, pain is a perception, not a sensation. Anger makes it worse. Diagnosis makes a difference. If you believe it, you feel it. You're not just imagining it. What are effects that you react to it? Who you are affects how you react to it. Talking to yourself can get you through. Other people have influence. Pressure can make you hide it. Strong pressures in the workplace or other social situations can cause people to conceal their pain by appearing cheerful and denying the pain. Culture counts, because sometimes people just aren't interested. It's an invisible disease. You can go on the internet and Google and find, it's called Attitude for Automotive Sufferers. Now, this is highly important because I've worked with lots of people who spouses left them and they did not do well on doing anything. People alone do not do as well as people who have a spouse or a friend or family support. You need to have family and spouse support. It is extremely difficult to be alone in this condition. Encouragement and support can make the difference. From the Hanford Health Information Network, we have an article that says steps you can take to cope with chronic illness. Number 1, learn to manage your treatment program. Number 2, work to maintain and improve your relationship with your healthcare providers. 3, educate yourself. Now that's the most important thing, and that's what we're trying to do today, is help you understand what's happening and how to fix it. Number 4, stay in contact with family and friends. Again, you do better with some help. 5, talk about your illness. Keeping your fear, anger, or frustration pent up inside can lead to stress. Talking about your feelings can help you avoid stress-related problems. 6, develop your own strategies for coping. 7, use your mind to help manage some of your physical symptoms. Keeping a journal will help. Manage your medicines. Now, it wasn't too long ago I was on 7 different meds at one time, and later on I was on 9 different meds. My wife and I decided a couple years ago that we wanted to get me off of all meds. That included OxyContin, oxycodone, and a bunch of others. Today I am down to just taking a non-narcotic pain pill, and I started out on 900 milligrams 3 times a day to help me get off of the OxyContin. We did that, getting off the OxyContin, with a lot of withdrawal and just my wife and I doing it. But now I'm down to 1 300 milligrams gabapentin a day and my insulin, and that's it. Consider making changes in your work life. That's number 9. Cut. There it is. My name is Joe Sturgeon. I'm an ex-fibromatic. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea for my country. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990, and it took 5 years to get that diagnosis. My company that I was working for sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist, and he said it was all in my head. I was put out on disability retirement. I have a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college I was pulled out during boot camp and offered officers training school or naval cadet school to learn to fly jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4. I had already had enough. In Korea, the company commander called me in and made the offer again, and I would be sent back to the States. Again, I said no. In each video, you will find links added which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together. Now we're going to talk about doctors and even some research centers and universities and clinics. To begin with, you can go to what are doctors saying about autoimmune diseases, and you'll come up with quite a few sites. Now this includes excerpts from Dr. Nicholson. His theory on mycoplasmas cause fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, and Gulf War syndrome. And Mark Percival and Robert Bennett. And there's some others, Dr. Horowitz and Dr. Rosenfield and Dr. Friedman. Dr. Horowitz is where we got the final information I was able to put together to make this work. And his website is Dr. Lynn Horowitz. It's either L-Y-N-N or L-N, I'm not sure. But he's got quite a repertoire here. And it even has his story and what he's done. I could not find on his website listed the video where we got the information. So you might have to, if you want to get it from him, you might have to call him. Now, this Dr. Whitaker, he was a doctor in California that my wife looked at and to see if we should go down there to get help. It was quite expensive, and she found the one in Aberdeen, Idaho, that we went to. And they got me out of a wheelchair the first week. Now, Dr. Whitaker says, the biggest single mistake your doctor is making with your health. Despite all his or her excellent training, your doctor has never been taught today's most powerful ways to unleash the awesome healing power of your own immune system. Moreover, the whole medical establishment has an attitude which rubs off on most doctors. Their attitude is an indifference, sometimes even outright hostility towards natural and folk remedies that don't come with a big price tag. This is true even when these remedies have been studied extensively, proven beyond a doubt, even written up in leading medical journals. Now, I went to one doctor because I was having trouble. He's a gastroenterologist, and he's quite a good doctor. And when we were talking afterwards, this is what he put in his report, which I have. It says, letter to insurance claims, recommendations. Continued meal supplement with soluble and insoluble supplements are helping this gentleman immensely. His pain from the fibromyalgia is much reduced when he's taken this regimen, and the other pain is reduced. I think it is very clear that from various journal articles in the standard peer-reviewed medical literature, including the Journal of the American Medical Association and similar prestigious journals, have clearly shown that supplements with antioxidants greatly improves a wide variety of diseases, including coronary artery disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and others. I think that it is well accepted that fibromyalgia improves with vitamin and mineral supplementation. It is clear that Mr. Sturgeon has greatly improved on this type of supplementation. For him, I think it is medically necessary, and I will prescribe this. And I have some other doctor statements here, even the doctor who put me in a wheelchair. And here's about him and what he helped us do. The doctor and my wife researched the natural clinic that we decided to go to. We had checked on one in California also. That was Dr. Whitaker. Also, the first week I was out of the wheelchair. And after another 2 weeks, I walked into the doctor's office who helped my wife, and who I was going to at the time. And I was using a cane, and he was standing in the hallway when we walked in the door. He looked at me, and his mouth just fell open, and he stood there and looked at me. And he finally said, after a few minutes, he says, "You are a miracle." He did write a prescription for us both for the supplements we use. I know now why I'm still here and will continue to help others, using the gifts I've been given, including my own personal angel. The regimen for life is very powerful. And remember, nothing happens without a dream. I have doctor's reports here that if anybody wants to look at them or see them, I can show them. I've got most of the medical information that I have had since I started this, trying to get diagnosis. I even have the first doctor's report about fibromyalgia. After 5 years, he told me I had fibromyalgia. Cut. Okay. My name is Joe Sturgeon. I'm an ex-fibromyalgia, and I did serve in the Marine Corps in Korea for my country. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990. It took 5 years to get that diagnosis, and my company sent me to many doctors and psychiatrists and said it was all in my head. They put me out on disability retirement. I had a high IQ at the time in the Marine Corps, and without college, I was pulled out during boot camp and offered OCS or NAVCAD, learning to fly jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I had already had enough. In Korea, the company commander called me in and made the offer again, and I would be sent back to the States. Again, I said no. In each video we have here, there will be links added which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together. I'm going to talk about medications now. And if you go on the internet and look for describe the cause of autoimmune diseases. Another is what causes autoimmune diseases in humans. Another is what damage is caused by autoimmune diseases. Okay. I mentioned this earlier, and I'll get into it in a minute here, and how many medications I was taking. But first I'd like to read this little thing here. It says, all of the cures bring you the natural remedies and cures for these troubling health conditions. Caffeine dependency, canker sores, cataracts, chapped lips, chemotherapy and radiation, chronic fatigue syndrome, which is autoimmune disease, cold sores, colds, colon cancer, conjunctivitis, constipation, corns and calluses, cramps and spasms, cuts and scrapes, plus many more. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It even talks about cancer. Now, I've written up a little thing here about what has happened to me in getting off of some meds. When we moved back to Idaho in September of 2013, we decided to get me off of all my meds. Prior to moving, we had me down on some of the others, and OxyContin down to 3 80 milligram tablets a day.
No, 20.
Just a minute. 3 times a day, and down to 2 20 milligrams a day. And we got me down that far. I did have lots of tough times, withdrawals. I could not get off the 1 a day. My PA worked it out to where I could go on gabapentin and work it down to take over where the OxyContin had been. And now I'm using a non-narcotic pill down from 3 a day to 1 a day, from 900 milligrams down to 300, until cold weather set in and I'm back to 3 a day. For now, I'm handling this fine and I'm off narcotics. I have increased my super antioxidants, 2 of them, to 3 times a day, each along with the others. I have also started taking protein twice a day from this company where we get our supplements. I check myself at least once a month when we order. This is important because your body is improving and you needed to adjust. This doctor had me on 9 different medications: Janumet, Lyrica, 2 different kinds, furosemide, pot chlorine, Cymbalta, OxyContin, Lyrica, Ascension, Contour. Another doctor we had here in St. George had me on 11 different medications. So we worked pretty hard, we were tired of it all. In fact, we had never taken medications prior to me getting fibromyalgia. We've got it down to just the one gabapentin a day, the insulin, and eating hopefully right. Cut. I know there's things I should say, but I forget them. My name is Joe Sturgeon. I am an ex-fibromatic. I was a Marine and served in Korea. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990. It took 5 years to get that diagnosis. My company had sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist and said it was all in my head. I was put out on disability in September of 1985. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college, I was pulled out during boot camp and offered OCS or NAVCAD, flying jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have had to ship over for 4 years. I'd already had enough. In Korea, the CO called me in and made the offer again, and that I would be sent back to the States if I took it. Again, I said no. Each video you see should have some links on it added, which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together. If you need a chiropractor, the National Chiropractic Association is different than that number now. It's 703-276-8800. Now you can get a disability sticker by going to the DMV, getting a form to take to your doctor, and the doctor can fill it out. You can get Social Security disability. The new number for them is 800-772-1213. 1213. There's also the lawyers who helped me get my fibromyalgia, the lawyers who helped me get Social Security after 5 years was Allsup in New Jersey. It's allsupinc.com. You can also go to the National Chiropractic Association on the internet and get more places. You need to also look for a chiropractor, and this is advised by several doctors even, that you need to get a chiropractor who does the activator. Now, it's also very helpful to find a chiropractor who does kinesiology, because they can analyze a lot of things right on the spot and help you with your nutrition. My name is Joe Sturgeon. I'm an ex-fibromatic. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990, after it took 5 years to find it. My company sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist and said it was all in my head. They put me out on disability retirement. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college I was pulled out during boot camp and offered OCS or NAVCAD, flying jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I had already had enough. In Korea, the company commander called me in and made the offer again, and I would be sent back to the States. Again, no. In each video, you will find links added, which will include websites with current information that will verify and document and support my findings that I have put together. This is my Beat the Junk section. It's kind of a synopsis of everything I've put together and how I feel. It goes, while on your journey of life, you hit a bump that slows you down. You think your life is over. You may pray to die, or you just remember God knows best. But then you can find a cause in recovery. So put on your fighting spirit, for now you can find your answer. And you can find the way and know what you must do. Now you can bless others with your knowledge, as God has asked us to do along our way. Then you will live better and beat your junk. Remember, you must do something the rest of your life. So for the better life, beat the junk, do it now. Beat the junk, do it now. Beat the junk, beat the junk, beat the junk, beat the junk. Cut.
Beat the junk.
Now that's the one I thought, that Mom thought that he might want to put into music. You can see where my name is Joe K. Sturgeon. I'm an ex-fibromatic. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea for my country. And I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990. It took 5 years to get that diagnosis. My company had sent me to many doctors, and even one doctor was a psychiatrist, and he said it was all in my head, but I was put out on disability retirement. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college, I was pulled out during boot camp and offered OCS or NAVCAD, flying jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I'd already had enough. In Korea, the CO called me in and made the offer again, and I would be sent back to the States. Again, I said no. In each video we have here, there will be links added which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together. Now, the supplements we use, I cannot mention the name of the supplements or the company, or they'll kick me out, and I don't want that. So, you have our email address, so email your request to obtain the products that we use and that work and are guaranteed. You can go to our website and we will guide you to the website to enroll and set up your account. You will need a credit card or a checking account so you can order. You will be preferred and receive wholesale prices. The cost is $29.99 plus tax, and you will receive a kit. Then the supplements will be cost above that. Remember, you need to do something the rest of your life. I've been using these products since 1985. You can email with your phone number, then I can call you. This is a second way to do it. And set up a conference call and enroll you on express verification. Or you can also enroll on the internet, and you will need to email me your phone number to contact you with the information. In either case, we will need your information. You can email us at twosturgeons@yahoo.com. Cut. Thank you. My name is Joe K. Sturgeon. I'm an ex-Fibromyalgia. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea for my country. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1990. It took 5 years to get that diagnosis. My company sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist and said it was all in my head. I was put out on disability retirement. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college, I was pulled out during boot camp and offered OCS or NAVCAD, flying jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I had already had enough. In Korea, the company commander called me in and made the offer again, and I would have to be sent back to the States again. I said no. In each video, there will be links added which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together. Now, the last big thing we're going to talk about is prayer. That's where I got a lot of my answers. I've even put a sample prayer in here, kind of the way I do it, and I've entitled it Your Prayer. Father in heaven, bless me with thy spirit, forgive me for my transgressions. Bless me in my efforts to overcome my health problems. Bless me to know when I receive revelation to be able to help myself. Bless me with the strength and ability to be able to help myself. Bless me to know this information is true. I thank thee for the blessings, these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Now, I've also done a couple other things that are kind of interesting. And one is a song that our church has that is very informative on what we should be doing. It goes like this. Because I have been given much, I too must give. Because of thy great bounty, Lord, each day I live. I shall divide my gifts from thee with every brother that I see, who has the need of help from me. Because I have been sheltered, fed by thy good care, I cannot see another's lack, and I not share. My glowing fire, my loaf of bread, my roof, safe shelter overhead, that he too may be comforted. Because I have been blessed by thy great love, dear Lord, I'll share that love again, according to thy word. I shall give love to those in need. I'll show you that love by word and deed. Thus shall my thanks be thanks indeed.